Hey there, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at some customizations that you can set up if you're writing and sending proposals in Notion. This is actually part 2 of a previous video that we published. I'll drop a link to that below. But what I want to get into today are a few things. Number one, an AI prompt that you can customize to turn discovery call transcripts into proposal drafts. Number two, some buttons that have been pretty useful just to track updates on statuses for proposals, when you sent them, when you followed up, when you got an agreement. This is more so to track the number of days to close, making sure that you're getting a decision in as short a time as possible so that these proposals are not lingering on. And then lastly, a few formulas to just give an overall status of each proposal. This is going a little bit beyond the stage, whether it's been sent or reviewed, pulling in different information like how long ago did you send it, which ones need a follow-up. And the very last thing is using database automations to send follow-up emails. There's a couple ways to do that, so we'll get into each one and you can decide which one best fits your workflow. So the first thing we're going to take a look at, I'm going to open the demo page because it has some content in here so that we're not looking at empty views. But you'll see here we've got our 3 key databases. Again, we go into this in our previous video: proposals, meetings, and contacts. These make up the 3 main databases that you're going to need to track proposals. But if we open the proposals database, the first view has a few key formulas. Number one is the state. This goes a little bit deeper than the status of the proposal. A couple things to note here. This is really just tracking when and where you need to follow up with that contact. So for example, if we have something in draft mode, it's just going to say not yet sent. But if we have a proposal that has been shared, it's going to give us the number of days since we sent it and give us a few extra statuses. So if it's been, in this case, more than 8 days, this one needs a follow-up. If it's been, say, more than 2 weeks, calling more attention to these proposals, just to make sure that we get a definitive yes or no, and we can kind of close this out and keep our database up to date. If you're thinking about customizing the timelines, this is pretty easy to do. All you have to do is just decide how many days you want this proposal to be in review. So in this case, it's 7. And if it's between 7 and 14, it says follow-up needed. And then anything more than 14 is updated to need decision ASAP. So depending on how quickly you want to turn around these proposals, you can update these numbers and it'll update the formula automatically. The other key formula is time to close. This is really just looking at the delta between when you sent the proposal and when you got a decision. So this is returning a number property, which is going to be helpful if we jump over to this closing speed view. This is just looking at the proposals and how many days it took to close. Now, obviously this is demo data. We wouldn't have any with 0, but just to give some context, we have this one took 20 days, 22 days, 23 days, etc. But as you track this regularly, you want to get as many proposals in that top band as possible because it's sorting from least amount of days to most. So just as an internal goal to get these proposals out and get a decision as quickly as possible. There's a few buttons in the proposal page to help speed up this process. So if I were to open a previous proposal, if I open the side panel, we'll see here we have our status, scope, estimated value, etc. But there's also some quick buttons to log when the proposal was accepted or declined. So if I were to click send, we'll see this updates to today's date. If I click accepted, then it's logging the decision with today's date also, but then updating the status to signed. On the other hand, if it turns out this is not a good fit and we click declined, same thing, we're getting a decision yes or no with today's date and then updating the status as declined. So a few quick buttons here. You might have a table view of the proposals database where you can quickly make those updates without having to go into the proposal page. But this is really just to keep the proposals up to date as easily as possible. You also notice that if we sent this a few weeks ago, this time to close here at the bottom is updating accordingly, so we get the number of days. The next thing we want to review is the call to proposal prompt. So one caveat, this is personalized to my own proposals and how I've structured them, going from the discovery call overview to highlighting pain points, talking about our approach. This is likely to look differently based on the type of consulting that you're doing. So you definitely want to go in here and make some updates as to what you're trying to say in each section, and also providing some examples of previous proposals that you felt were really strong or worded the right way, to make sure that we have that example as a reference in the prompt so that we could write it in your tone of voice. But in this case, we have the prompt broken up into steps: overview, challenges, approach. Again, workflow audit. This might not be relevant at all for your work. If you're in workflow optimization, maybe, but you can delete this whole section. What this is doing is taking your transcript, whether you're using Notion AI's meeting notes or grabbing the transcript from another tool, and interpreting that transcript with this prompt to get your proposal draft. And this is something that we kind of walked through in that first video as well. So once you update the prompt, there's a toggle up here that's formatting it as code. In this case, it's dropped down so you can quickly copy the entire text and paste it into Notion AI's sidebar. So for example, if I open up a recent discovery call and we take a look at the summary notes and transcript, if I open the Notion AI sidebar and I just press Command V, this is grabbing the entire prompt, and you can specify to create a new page in your database or just add the response into the Notion AI sidebar. And the last portion I want to walk through is just the email follow-ups. Again, these are starting templates. You want to personalize these to fit your tone of voice, but this is essentially just to make sure that you're following up with that potential client within a set amount of days, just to communicate your interest and your excitement about working with them. Again, there's scenarios where they've reviewed the proposal but just haven't gotten back to you, or things come up, there's fires to put out, other things take priority. So they follow up several times. In this case, we have 3-day, 7-day, 14-day, and each of them are worded slightly differently as you get into longer time spans. You want to be a little bit more direct just to get a decision on, is there interest? Is there interest in the short term? Is there warm interest but not immediately? Or is this just flat out not a good fit? I tend to avoid completely automating follow-ups just because there might be cases where the potential client has looped in other team members or you've had some back and forth via email. So you don't want it to seem like you've got these automations running that are not really thought out. But one solution that has been helpful is just setting up easy buttons for each email follow-up. And we'll take a look at how to do that. While we're here, if we go into our proposal, you'll notice we have our contact and a roll-up of their email. So whether you're using a CRM or just have a simple contacts database, the template is rolling up their email from their contacts database, and we can use this to send this email follow-up directly to that email. So if you're not using the contacts database, this might not work the same way, but something to keep in mind if you're customizing this. If we add a new property to our proposals database, we'll select the button, and we're going to change the name to email follow-up 1. So if we go into edit, we're going to say when the button is clicked, send mail. You're going to select the email address that you're sending it from. And when it comes to who you're sending it to, you have the contact email as an option. So again, this only works if that contact relation is filled in to be able to select this as part of the automation. So from here, we have our contact email. We'll give this a subject, checking in on the proposal. And then for the message, if I go back into our email templates, we're just going to copy this portion and then paste. With the client name, again, this probably works better if you're segmenting out their first name and last name, but you could say @ and then if we go from this page and look for contact, this will add their contact name. I'd probably separate out their first and last name just because it doesn't look very personal if it's their full name. So something to keep in mind there. But we have our email drafts. You can again make some edits here and then add a scheduling link, very important, to make sure that this is clickable. And then lastly, add your email signature at the very bottom. So when we click save, then every time we click this button, it's going to send it to that contact, and we don't have to open Gmail or our email client, could just do it directly from Notion. And lastly, you might be thinking, why track all of this granular data when it comes to proposals? One of the biggest benefits of Notion is having a great balance between creating simple pages that you can customize, but then also leveraging the power of databases. So when we get into some of our charts, we could see a breakdown of how many of our proposals as a percentage did we win versus lose, but also look at data like which services have been the most common. This is great for thinking more strategically about what services you want to emphasize when it comes to content or outreach. Breaking down proposals by month, if you're noticing that there's months where there's kind of a lull or a dry period, something to plan ahead for in advance. And then looking at closing speed. How long is it taking end to end to get a decision? I'll say personally, I tend to grossly underestimate the time it takes from having that discovery call to getting a decision. So this helps plan ahead and make sure that if we do have multiple discovery calls within a short period of time, you can plan your bandwidth and be able to confidently plan ahead and give clients a clear idea of when you can start and when you can execute on the project. So I hope that's helpful. And a couple quick side notes. If you're interested in guides and resources specifically for consulting, definitely subscribe to the newsletter. It's indieconsultants.club. We'll be sharing templates, guides, exercises to either launch or scale your consulting business. And subscribe to this channel if you want to get updates and reviews on Notion's new features or workflows that can help you work smarter. See you in the next one. Cheers.